Hi, I'm Tony Fleming, and this is Fleming's Ultimate Garage. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us on today's video. Listen man, muscle car, muscle car, muscle car. That's what this looks like, and you know what? It performs like it too with a couple nice additions to make it a little more drivable. 69 Camaro, Super Sport, Rally Sport front end, okay? Dressed up great, Dover white with the garnet red stripes, and the garnet red stripes match the red interior. Just very hot, very hot. I was just looking at some of the things that were on the car. And you know, what's funny is when you look at these cars online, so many of them look the same, and the price points are all over the place. And you're like, how do I figure out what I'm getting? How do I know when there's a good car, a bad car, whatever? Here's what I'd start with. I'd start with, let's just take me out of the picture for a minute. Why don't you start with, do they include free and closed door-to-door shipping? Do they go over the cars front to back to make sure the brakes work and the lights work and the turn signals work and the radio works? And do they do a video on the car? Oh, the video? Well, no, they didn't do a video, but that's probably not a big deal. Well, you know why it's a big deal? Because you can make pictures look like anything. I buy cars all the time and I see pictures, and when the car arrives here, it is nothing like they described it. One person's value of a car and its condition is very different than somebody else's. But come up here and we'll start with this right here, because this is the highlight of what I like to do. Yes, I do it on every video. Yes, I get a lot of heat on it. Man, don't start with that paint thing again. Yeah, you know why? Everybody loves this though when they buy a car from us. They love to see the detail. They love to see the fact that the stripes are clear coated over on this car. We put the stripes on this car, it was all white. And it had the stripes at the wrong spot because it had a cowl induction hood on it. So we took those off, corrected all that, and then we painted this, wet sanded it, laid on the garnet red stripe, and then re-clear coated the whole front and back of the car, these top surfaces, so that you couldn't feel the stripes in there. And that's what makes for a much better and much easier driving experience, because this way you can take care of the car. You want to be able to take care of this car for years and years, and this just makes it much easier, okay? You wash and wax till you go to a show. So for instance, like this right here, I like these wheels, but they're incorrect for this car. Some people like them, some people don't. I left them on the car to see if you liked it. If you don't love them, we'll put the correct rally wheels on there, and that would be even better for you. But radial TAs, these are big block wheels. I like the look of them. That's up to you. We can easily swap those out, okay? All right, so new emblems, chrome, stainless, glass. I'm going over all this stuff with you so that I'm coaching you. If this is not the car for you, I'm coaching you on how to buy a car out there and make sure that somebody's doing all of those things for you, right? Front and rear spoilers, new mirrors, handles, gills, side trim. You say, well, what's the big deal about, you know, this little bits of chrome? Let me tell you what the big deal is. This handle right here, which only costs, let's say it costs $40, all right? The difference is this $40 handle turns into a $500 experience. And the reason it's a $500 experience is because you can't replace one side, right? You're gonna have to do the other side as well, otherwise the car's gonna look dumb when you go to a show or drive or whatever. Somebody's gonna say to you, well, why is this one handle bad and the other one looks good? So to get to the handles, you have to take the whole door apart. And to take the door apart, that takes an hour, hour and a half to get that done. So you got 3 hours labor tied up in that, plus the door handles. The next thing you know, it's 500 bucks. I'm only saying that to you because that's the level that this car is, and if you're going to compare this car to other cars that are out online, this is what you need to be doing, okay? All right, so do you have a boot with the car? You may say, well, that's what a big deal. Well, this boot here in particular has had extra money spent on because it has snaps put on it. They normally come with the stupidest clips ever. If you've owned one of these cars in the past, they're the dumbest invention. They have these clips that go on, it rips the molding off, they fly off and whatever. Someone spent the extra money to abandon that, right? And put snaps all the way around so it looks good, it'll stay on, and you won't have to worry about it. Let's keep walking around for a second. All right, did somebody finish the RS package? So the RS package would include the front grille, right? It would also include the reverse lights down here, so yes. And you say, well, what's the big deal about that? Well, what the big deal about that is a regular taillight, only $150 with a reverse light in it. But you still have to buy a taillight anyway with the RS package, so you had to buy 2 taillights. Then you had to buy these down here for another 150 bucks. Then you had to buy a valance panel, okay, for an RS. Then you had to get it painted. The next thing you know, just to finish the RS package back here, another $700, $800. You see where I'm going with this? It just keeps going and going and going. So whether these cars are original or reproductions, they need the parts to make them look great so that you can go to a car show if you wanted to, but if you wanted to just drive it and enjoy it, and then if you decide to sell it later on, it doesn't cost you a lot of money. They're great investments and a whole lot of fun. All right, so we talked about the car enough. How about we take a peek under the hood and see what's happening there? Okay, so come on here, let's check this out. All right, so you can get a Camaro convertible. You can get a Camaro convertible with the RS package. You can get it with the Super Sport package. Yes, we have all that right here, but here's where we go a little bit farther. Think about, as you're getting older, how nice it is when you throw another couple in there, the kids in there, whatever. It's a hot August day, you can throw the top up and turn the air conditioning on. Air conditioning can cost $3,000 or $4,000 in a car. This already has it in it, all right? Already has it in it. The air conditioning's in there. The engine compartment is all detailed very nicely. It's got the cowl induction air cleaner. It's got the new insulation under here. It's got the battery topper. It has 2 horns. Well, Tom, what's the big deal about 2 horns? Let me tell you something. Most of the cars that come here don't have any horns, and they normally don't even work, right? I'm gonna make sure that the horns work for you. I want the car to be safe. I want you to have an enjoyable experience. The cars are not meant to be brand new. They're not going to be brand new, but they're as close to brand new as this car is priced, and you're gonna have a lot of fun in this car, especially with power steering, power brakes. Did you ask about that for the last car you were buying? No, you probably didn't, because you know why? Today's modern car comes with all of those things. This car here has it as well. Most cars back in the day didn't have those items. So imagine having no power steering or no power brakes, trying to park your car in a parking lot. This is kind of a smaller car, so it's not as big a deal. But if you were buying a full-size car, it was a lot of work. Little stuff like this, stainless fasteners. The decals are in the right spot. It doesn't have a caution fan sticker here. You ever see the caution fan sticker here? You know what that is? That's a Ford sticker. Everybody puts that on these cars. I don't know why. This way you could go to a show if you wanted to, open the hood because it's been detailed underneath here. And you know what? That's the way you want to go. Even if you don't want to go to a show, sooner or later someone's going to ask you to open the hood, because this is where every man goes, and this is what we do. We grunt, and then we actually, as soon as I open the hood, I actually go out back and I start hunting and gathering, because that's what I do. I'm a hunter and gatherer right after I look at the engine, because I'm a man, that's it. So we'll check out in here. All right, so I wanted to show you this stuff here because, well, you're saying, well, the trunk, who cares? I don't care about the trunk. Yeah, you do care about the trunk, but I'll tell you why you care about the trunk, all right? Because it's painted properly in here. It has new seals and gaskets. It has the decal in here. Well, what's the big deal about the decal? Well, the big deal is that I had to open a catalog, I had to order it, I had to get it put on. I finished the trunk inside here with a nice trunk mat, okay? A spare tire cover, and it has a jack and jack handle. Well, what's the big deal about having a jack and jack handle? Well, no cars come with jack and jack handles 40 years later, okay? 9 out of 10 do not. This car happens to have it in it, and it's actually a really nice touch. And then when you close the trunk, it closes nicely, it fits well, and that rear spoiler looks great in there. The stripes are even painted on correctly, because back in the day, they didn't actually stripe it all the way to here. That's actually the correct way to stripe a car, believe it or not. Just saying, just so you should know. All right, so for me, little stuff that I'm looking for in a car to determine what kind of car it is. This is the lesson we're having today, is what kind of car are we getting today, okay? Here's what we're getting. We're getting the fact that the footwell lighting works. This I want you to see right here. Look, the console light works. Do you know how many console lights work in cars 40 years old? Almost none, okay? New ashtrays, window cranks, and somebody spent some time hanging the doors, putting them back in there properly. I love the red interior with this white paint. It just looks great. Okay, so this is actually kind of cool. These are original seat belts with date codes on them. The tags are still in here, okay? 69 dated seat belts, which is really cool. I don't know if you can see that, but check that out. That's a pretty cool piece. And then they go in the correct holders. Do you know why they go in the correct holders? Because this car has a console. The other cars that you're looking at online probably don't have a console, and the reason they don't have a console is because it costs a lot of money to put in a console by the time you're all done. Another 500 bucks for the console. 500 here, 500 there, 500, 500. AC car with the correct AC controls here. 120 mile an hour speedometer. The footwell lighting works. All the little stuff here. So this has an upgrade in it that we didn't talk about earlier, and this has an overdrive automatic transmission. And the reason that's a nice thing is most cars do not have the matching numbers transmission in them because they couldn't withstand the beatings. In this case here, whether it had it at one time or not, it doesn't really matter, but with the overdrive automatic, you can drive on the highway, you could drive to the beach 70, 75 miles an hour, and the engine's just loafing along. You got the AC under the hood, you got power steering, you got power brakes. It's really a luxurious car to drive, and as well as it looks spectacular inside, okay? Anyway, how about I start it for you so you can hear what it sounds like. Okay, not to mention too, has a pedal dress up with the trim around the pedals. A lot of cars don't have that. Well, what's the big deal, Tom? Well, the big deal is you got to buy the pedals, pads, and you got to buy the trim that goes around them, and you got to get that installed. That's what I'm saying. For instance, like over here too, like the vents, check this out. The vents actually work just the way they're supposed to. So fresh air vents. Dash is painted. This is an AC dash, so you get this extra vent right here. That way you know it's a real AC car. All right, anyway, I'll start it for you. Thing you need to think about too is the RS front ends on cars. RS front ends come, you know, it's probably $1,200 to $1,500 to put the RS front end on it with the grills, get them painted, you know, and get the doors and all of this stuff lined up and things like that. Then they're still manual doors, so you have to open them when the nighttime comes and do that. And if you want to step up and finish the car a little bit more, you go ahead and put in the electric motors in here instead of the old vacuum style. The vacuum style is not bad, but the electric motors are just a little bit better. They had those in 67 and 68. 69 is the first year they went to vacuum, and most people ditched them over time because these don't require you to start the car, they just work. They just work. And that's the nice thing about them. And once they're done, they're done. All right, so we're gonna close up the video with this. We talked about some great things to look for in the car, but I wanted to share with you something that we didn't talk about, and that's drivability. In this case here, this is one of those cool old school cars, right? It's had some nice upgrades to it as well. It's got a bored and stroked 350, all right, to almost 400 cubic inches. It's got the overdrive automatic transmission in it, right? It's got air conditioning, it's got power steering, it's got power brakes. The one option that we could do for you that it doesn't have in there, if you wanted to, is we can go ahead and put in a hidden sound system in the glove box, where it's a digital sound system. It's not very much money. We do it for so many customers, but it allows you to stream your iTunes to it. It has CD, it has satellite radio, and it keeps the dash kind of looking stock, but you have your new stuff that you want to listen to in the car. And that for me says, what a great car, great car, great car this is, and not to mention the top goes down. How you doing? All right, anyway, call us 301-816-1000. We'll tell you all about the '69 Camaro Convertible.